I'll explain why I believe the market was extremely excited on Friday and why it has somewhat cooled off over the last 48 hours, and he calmly just outlined why he's buying more. Hi there, lovely individuals. Peepo Coin Channel. We have a mixed bag of red and green bubbles, as you can see on this side. Since the Fed chairman's speech, which was quite dovish, or bullish as one may say, the market has somewhat calmed down. Why is it always with the animals? I'm not sure, but Friday's speech had a really bullish tone, and the markets erupted and things went crazy. Shorts were a little squeezed, and since then, not much has happened, but Solana is somewhat rebounding. At 3.3 XRP is currently down 0.4%. However, when you've down, Ethereum is flat like XRP and Solana is rising wonderfully. Cardano down, Litecoin is down, correct? We saw the link go down, and they're all essentially outside of Solana, right? The cryptocurrency market and the market as a whole are down since Friday's large, juicy candle, which is currently slightly slowing down. There are several factors now. First of all, I have no idea where you are in the world at the moment. About 60% of you may be in the United States. It makes no difference if you're in Australia or the United Kingdom. Well, you might be in the Philippines, but you might be anywhere in the globe. We have a sizable Philippine fan base. However, in many parts of the world, summer vacation is currently coming to an end, or other regions are even starting classes again before September 1st. As a result, a lot of families and parents worldwide are using this final week as a last-minute getaway before classes resume. Even though it's likely the most costly week of the year, a lot of people are on vacation. The fact that it's the weekend and that many people are on vacation further contributes to the low volume of trade this weekend. That makes sense, I guess. Additionally, the Fed's flippity-floppity attitude might be the culprit. Well, let's listen to what they had to say on CNBC. Was the market duped? Let's listen to it. I'm old enough to recall that the Fed minutes we received 24 hours ago were largely hawkish. We now hear the speech, which is, I suppose, fairly conservative. The Fed minutes, however, were from a meeting that took place only a few weeks ago. We have the impression that we are everywhere. I apologize, that was the confusing aspect, and Powell didn't hint at any of this when he spoke 3.5 weeks ago. The minutes, as you say, show that Powell spoke hawkishly during that meeting, so there was no clue of any kind, which is why the rate cut odds were only 66% going into today. They somewhat deceived us, and it's possible that Powell simply woke up this morning with a different perspective and shifted his tone from hawkish to more dovish. What might have happened, and perhaps everything changes again. This is something that changes from day to day, week to week, and it's more short-term, of course, which is why I'll never advise you to buy, sell, or hold, because I have no idea what will occur on a daily basis. Not financial advice, of course. Always conduct your own research before making an investment. Additionally, keep in mind that I will never message you on social media to ask you to send me money or join up for anything. They are con artists. Be extremely cautious out there, please. Please don't mistake me if you see me on Instagram, TikTok, or another platform. So exercise extreme caution. They are con artists. Thus, it will be fascinating to observe what transpires. In the short term, the market is now saying to hold on a moment. On Friday, there was a party. After the dust settled a bit, everyone left quickly and there was a moment of silence. We immediately pumped on CPI before dumping on PPI. What if the Fed decides abruptly that it will not lower interest rates because of data that is released in the next 2 to 3 weeks? The market is currently experiencing fear, and some people are becoming a little alarmed due to the Fed's vacillating behavior. In a few days, this worry may go away and people will forget it, but it may not. Well, we must exercise caution as always. We must keep an eye on what might be going on in the market and determine where we might be headed. Tom Lee, on the other hand, is extremely bullish, particularly in the long run. Tom Lee is still purchasing Ethereum. 7 hours ago, he purchased an additional 10,000 or nearly 9,613 Ethereum, and now he has 1.5 million Ethereum or 7.5 billion. After seeing that, many people conclude that Tom Lee is impeding the cryptocurrency business. Additionally, Tom Lee moved to Ethereum. What might happen if someone you know did that to other assets like XRP or something similar? This is an intriguing question, right? Well, we've seen a lot of fuel enter the market in recent weeks. Buy a little bit of mine and buy Tom Lee. Yes, this will happen. Does it matter if it's retail or institutional? Some would say that they would prefer retail. Retail is also erratic. They get thrilled, get depressed, and then get excited again, like in the last 24 hours when the market appeared. For this reason, I'm not sure if retail is the greatest. In the past 24 hours, we've noticed a spike in searches for cryptocurrency. As a result, retail is sometimes far less sophisticated than institutions. Well, what we'll see. However, he was just on CNBC and had something to say about the state of the market. Let's listen to it. Tor watches the Dow reaches a record high in response to Fed Chair Jay Powell's comments this hour that suggested a change in policy. Tom Lee, Chief Investment Officer at Fundstrap Capital and Head of Research at Fundstat, is joining us to discuss what we just heard. Tom, good day to be a bull like you. It is indeed. How do you interpret the information we just heard? Since the Fed doesn't believe that tight labor markets will necessarily lead to inflation, I believe that they are seeing that the risks are now tilted for the labor market to be easing and they want to prevent that. That's a really positive indication, and I believe it indicates that the Fed will be dovish once more, which is somewhat encouraging for small businesses. There are little caps. They are, after all, at work. Small caps were up 3% when I last checked. Thus, this is what we require in order to substantiate the type of market expansion that occurs periodically. Yes, since I believe that the movement of mortgage rates is one of the things we should keep an eye on. However, at the moment, mortgage spreads are 60 basis points greater than the 10-year. It is 1.6 percentage points historically. Consequently, mortgage rates may drop significantly. That will benefit housing, the economy, small businesses, and I believe the ISM, which has been below 50 for over 30 months, may finally rise above 50 again, which is encouraging for industrials. However, immediately following the speech, we had a conversation regarding a slight steepening of the curve. Does it seem like the vigilantes are there even if they aren't speaking out? Oh, yes. However, given that growth expectations are also rising, we might possibly be slowing down. Thus, this might resemble what I would refer to as a bulliening. Although I'm not really sure what the fixed income parameters are, I believe they are encouraging for expansion. Certain of the yielders and certain staples will be the only ones who truly lose today. I appreciate you watching. I'm hoping to see you again soon. Let's make a lot of money, as I usually